Let me tell you, when something does go wrong on the app, and I'm so thankful it doesn't happen often, who do you turn to for help? Who's actually going to help you? If you're counting on customer support to help you, you've got another thing coming. I've got a great example of an order that went really wrong for me. So I'm going to cover some of the chat messages that I had with that customer support agent. And let me tell you, because I seriously fear that UberEats is going to retaliate against me and kick me off the app. So let's get started. The very first thing that you need to consider, I've been doing this part-time for 6 years. UberEats has never, ever fixed any of their issues in the system to where it benefits the drivers. We've complained for years and years that something's wrong in there, and the driver is the one that pays the price. Let me give you an example. This happened recently. I was so eager to accept this order, I totally didn't even get a screenshot to show it to you. But I'll summarize. It was an alcohol order from a liquor store, 2 items, $34, and it was maybe a 7 or 8 mile trip. I jumped on that. I really had something else I needed to do, but that was a lot of money and I was gonna get it. So I made my way to the liquor store, and as soon as I went in and the worker told me, oh, I'm the 3rd driver that's shown up, I thought, oh, here we go again. I'm very familiar with this. And you know what? The restaurant owner, that liquor store owner, he's the guy that really should be calling and get the order canceled from UberEats, because when he just takes the easy way out and lets the drivers like you and I just call customer support or cancel it ourselves, that's not actually going to stop or fix anything. Instead, another driver's just going to show up. And in this case, I was the 3rd driver to show up. But I care about you, our fellow drivers, so I want to always contact customer support. That way, there's at least a chance, a hope that they're going to be smart and realize what's going on and stop the order from sending more drivers. That was my main goal when I was contacting them, and I did use chat. So as a part-time driver for 6 years, they have yet to ever fix anything in their system. Instead, they're relying on their agents and their bureaucracy to get their way instead of helping the driver. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So again, their systems are flawed. They easily could fix them. They're choosing not to fix them. Why would this be? Well, I'll tell you what, we're independent contractors, so we don't actually work for UberEats. So they don't care about us. It's easy just to leave their systems as they are, or actually, maybe the leadership designed it this way on purpose. Think about that, on purpose. So what does that tell you how UberEats employees, and especially their leadership, respect you as the driver? I would say they don't. So let's get into this chat, and I'm going to show it to you, and that's going to lead right into the next 2 issues. So just starting off, and I'll do the screenshot for you up here on the screen. You can see right away, wow, that doesn't look like a common American name. And so right away, when he initiates the chat, I tell him what's going on. I say, I'm the 3rd driver to try and pick up this order. The owner said the 1st driver was unable to get in touch with the customer for a substitute. He replies right away and says, I completely understand your difficulty, and I apologize for the inconvenience. Let me look into it and fix it for you. Sure. And then he says, could you please share the exact issue that you're facing at this moment so I can appropriately help you? And then you can see here, yes, please. And make sure at the end of the order, you cancel it so no other driver shows up. And then he wants some additional information. And, you know, maybe I was upset at this time. And I said, I thought I already did. So I repeated it. And then he said, I'm sorry to know that the store is unable to fulfill this order at this moment, and I'm here to help you to get this issue sorted. And then they asked who the customer is, and of course, I clarified that. And then he went in and he said, at this time, we will cancel the order for you, and then you can continue with other orders. And I said, thank you. I'm sure I'll be paid for my time coming to the restaurant, coming to this liquor store to get the order. And then you see here, I'm making a note of this for you. We're going to take care of it on top priority for you so that you won't face issues like this in the future. What does that even mean? And then he says, we duly appreciate you for blah, blah, blah. And he's sorry, he's not able to help me in regards to compensation. Now, I kind of already knew this was coming, but we're going to get into that with the 3rd tip. And then he says, can I assist you with anything else? And I said, oh, that's disappointing, but have a good day, because hey, he's a human being as well on the other end. And then I said, I also trust this will not affect my cancellation rate either. Surprise, surprise. So right here it says, I understand how important your cancellation rate is to you. And it said it's automatically calculated in the app. So basically he's not gonna manually be able to do anything. And sure enough, you can see right here, afterwards, I already knew this was gonna happen. My cancellation dropped 1%. So now I'm at a 2% cancellation rate. And that wasn't because I chose to cancel the order. It's because there was a problem with the order, but UberEats held it against me. And then right after this, he was supposed to cancel the order in my app after I knew I was gonna have a higher cancellation rate and not be paid for my time. He said he was gonna cancel the order. Sure enough, the order did not cancel. And so when it asked if I was satisfied, I said no. Another agent came on, and sure enough, his name wasn't a common American name, and he finally was able to cancel the order. And then it said, was I able to resolve my issue? And I said no. And I wrote back to UberEats, and I basically said, you need to fix your systems. So the second point here, English is not the primary first language for any customer support agent at UberEats. And you may ask yourself, why is this? So in the chat, you can see by their use of language, these customer support agents do not speak English as their first language, and they're not very proficient at it, because I was pretty clear on my needs, and either they didn't comprehend it or they didn't want to help me. And this would be another reason, a second example, that UberEats systems are flawed, both in their computer system and the app, and now also who they're choosing to hire. Why would they do this? Obviously, the driver's benefit is not at the forefront of their mind. Instead, it's probably, I'm guessing, to make as much money as possible and spend as little money as possible. So to have a customer support agent that's outsourced from overseas, and maybe they don't actually care about their qualifications in English, they just want them to get by and basically cancel orders and do things to not help the drivers. So at this point, please do share in the comments, and I really want to know this. Estimate your percentage of the time that when you contact customer support, and that could be by phone or chat, what percentage of time do you think they actually help you as the driver? Because I know on the rare occasions that I have to call them, I'm usually trying to get my money, and I'm also trying to get them to stop sending other drivers because it's hurting all the other drivers. But again, I know they don't care. So I would say maybe it's 5% of the time. Most of the orders go well for me. So for my estimation, I would say 5% of the time. And here's another idea that I'm pretty sure UberEats has already thought of. Why pay human beings even if they don't perform at the right level? Why not just use AI, some kind of bots, chat bots, anything that's computer related? I'm sure they're going to streamline and get to the root cause of cutting off the driver's pay as soon as possible, and this would save them a lot of money as well. So the third area and very important tip for you to consider, so if UberEats purposely designs their systems, they're both computer systems and their customer support agents, to not really help the drivers, how do they cover their tracks? Let me share this with you. Very clearly, all they have to do is write the rules to benefit them and not us. And these are in their terms of service and also the community guidelines. As an UberEats driver, you know if you want to work for them, you have to click and say, yes, I agree to all their terms of service. Otherwise, they're not going to let you on the app. And so it's not necessarily right or wrong, it's just how it is. We're independent contractors, so we're not employees. So UberEats can just easily write the literature how they want, make up the rules that benefit them, and prioritize the customer, and roughly never prioritize the driver. The real impact when things don't go right for the driver is we're gonna make less money and we're wasting our time. In my example, I went to the liquor store, so I drove a certain distance there, and I spent some time talking to the gentleman and then interacting with the chat. Did I get paid for that? No. So we're the ones that pay the price, and UberEats can just write whatever policy they want, and we're the ones that pay for it. Obviously, with the cancellation rate, that should be designed for if I choose to cancel the order. Say I got on another app like Grubhub, say I found a better order and I took it, then I would go in and cancel the Uber Eats order. That's not right in my opinion, but as an independent contractor, I can do that. So when I cancel it for my own reason or even for an emergency, then it should count against me. But when there's a problem with the order itself and I'm trying to resolve it and I contact customer support, I need customer support and you need them as well to represent you and resolve the issue. We shouldn't be penalized with an increase in our cancellation rate or our acceptance rate lowering, or most importantly, having our pay docked and not getting paid for our time and wear and tear on our car. And then another consideration, we're not the only driver involved. When things don't go well, another poor driver like you is sent to that order that Uber Eats already knows there's a problem and they don't care, and you are the one that pays for it. In light of you now being able to build great confidence in your own abilities as an Uber Eats driver, not relying on that customer support function, have you ever wondered, how do you know exactly how to deliver food safely and profitably? I can imagine that your well-being is important, and that's something that many drivers don't think of. How about, how do you know which orders are profitable, and how do you actually do them? I have good news for you. I've made a video covering those two important topics. Please watch it next, and I'll see you there.